Alright guys, it's August 21st. We were still in pre-market right now on gold. We've been kind of moving up all day yesterday, kind of consolidated, finally broke out of these levels, and then consolidated at the top, and then now just broke down into these levels here. So as we kind of push down, we're going to look for any retest of these low value areas, and for a continuation for this thing to kind of move back down into the at least the 54.6 and possibly down here at the 1151. So this little sideways movement here, I would say at the 1153.4 will probably be like the first test of this support. So if it does come down to this level, could look to buy here on first test. Right now looking like this thing can continue to push back down, as it just kind of broke between this consolidation right here pre-market, as it pushed up into 1167. And gold has been pretty extended the last two trading days. It's been moving up pretty significantly, and that maybe be driven by the fact that on the S&P and the stock market, everything has been driving down. And then now we're finding some initial support here at the 2008 levels here, and you know, it's moved down over 60 points in the last day or two. So there's some heavy selling at that point. So, and markets don't go in one direction forever. And now it's starting to kind of go up. And as you can see, gold is starting to come back down. So there is some correlation that's happening in the markets. And right now we're just looking for this to kind of maybe pull back a little bit. And I would say within this area right here. So any of these sell-offs here, as you start to see kind of come back into the low value area, we'll look into to sell either here between the 59.60 or here again at the 58. But I'm thinking right here, just because we did consolidate here, initially launch up, and we just drove straight right through it. So anything that comes back up to this level, I'm going to short. So that's the plan for now. Once we kind of get into a trade, I will continue the video. But again, I wanted to start making videos before the trade sets up, and look at the market and how we can actually practically get into the market as we move through this. So you can see the trend did kind of move up this whole time, but we really needed to come down here to the 54, 53 level for this thing to be a buy, as it's kind of like showing momentum to the downside. Okay. And it's not really holding any of these levels. As you can see, the high value area right here, as it's moving up, should have came back and bounced. It did not. It consolidated, broke right through there, right? So that level is invalidated. Came back to this point of control right here, shot right through there, and now kind of retesting, but looks like it's going to come back down. So really the next levels to really look at is here. And there's confluence right here, as you can see, the low value area and high value area from the yesterday's market and this morning's market kind of line up. So this is kind of the area where buyers probably launched it to the 1161 earlier, and as it's coming back down, this would be a first time test buy possibly, as the trend is still up. But right now we are moving down, and we can short on the way down as we start breaking these levels and retesting it. So that will be the trade that we set up, that we look for. Let me go ahead and pause the video, and once I get into a trade, I'll restart it and we can start managing it and talk about it then. Alright, so I'll pause the video and I'll be back in just a second. Alright guys, you can see that I kind of zoomed in on gold here. So we had this little initial sideways consolidation, finally broke down, and then we created this low value area here, and then we touched it and came back down, and now we came back for a retest of this at the 1158.8. So that was a valid short right here. So that was a trade that we're going to take, and we'll look for some more downside. It needs to break down here at the 57 for this thing to really start moving. But once you do that, we looking at least down to 1154.6, and if not, all the way down here in this area right here where it consolidated and bounced, because it also lines up with the high value area here at 1153.4. If I go out to the 5-minute, we can see again 1153.5, 54 right here is an area that we can look at for a bounce, at least when it first touch of this. So we'll look for that. right now short about 4 contracts. I might start adding if it does come back one more time to test it. As long as it doesn't hold and break above this low value area, we're looking for this thing to move down. So, and as you can see, look at that reaction. And even if it's just reactionary trades, I mean, as long as you keep your stops tight, you can make some pretty good money off of this stuff, you know. And I'm only in 4 contracts, so okay. So now the low value area moved down a little bit further, so should start seeing some momentum to the downside right here. Already made about $400 right there off of that trade. Did not quite get in where I wanted to, but bottom line is it's moving. $560 right there already so far, and now I just have to start scaling out as we go. So, and like I said, let me go ahead and really the support at the 54.6, so 54.7 is what we're looking at. Right there would have been a good area to kind of get out at. About $640, $680 right now, and you're starting to see, you know, the 60 contracts and stuff like that right there. But once it kind of pushes through there, you should start seeing some good stuff right there. Out 3 contracts right there, was up about $800. I'm gonna go ahead and I mean, this thing is starting to really push down. Most likely, like I said, could come down to this 54.7 level, which is just about 10 ticks away. But we got, you see kind of like the 98, 92 contracts right here. So it really has to blow through here. If it does, this thing has potential to really push to the downside, and you see a sudden movement down to 1154.7. But I'm actually already out of my trades right now, and just wanted to show you guys that really quickly. That was a quick $850 profit off of 4 contracts, just trading that little movement right there. Right, so I mean, you can't see it now, but let me go ahead and create the line right here. So I had that 1158.8 right at the time, right? I mean, these profile levels are changing as price changes, but within this 3-hour period, it dropped, never came back up to retest. This would have been a bit better short, right? And it could still come back up there first, and then we could short it again. But at this point, we're looking at areas to buy, and really what we want to do is see this thing come all the way down here, and then we want to buy at the 54.6. But really, looking at this, I mean, just look at the candle bars, and a lot of you guys, if you understand how to trade candle bars and price action, you can kind of see that this was initially a support level that was drawn in during the volume profile or market profile level. It broke through there, came back, retested it, and shot back down, right? So if you missed this trade right here, all you have to do is wait for this to come back up again, which it did at 1158, and look at that reaction after that. You know, this first one, there wasn't as much commitment, but look what happened at the second time it came up there, right? After it drove away from that price, came back up, retested it, and 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes later, we already dropped about over 30 ticks off of that move. So we had a 30 tick move off of that. So per contract, you were making about $300. Okay, got in a little bit late. Trying to make this video, which is what I don't like. I wish you know, I had 2 brains and 2 physical bodies to do all this, but I'm trying to trade and make videos at the same time, which is not as easy as it looks. But bottom line is, the level that I analyzed right there should have been the short, and hold down to profit levels down here at least to 1154.6. And as you can see, the prices that we had here are still remaining. These are these iceberg orders, but if it keeps coming down and keeps testing it, eventually these things are going to fade away. And like I said, once these big orders move, gold would you'll literally see this thing shoot down. And I wish it would do it right. Okay, it might do it while we're doing this video, but you see this time and time again. But what I did do was take my profits down here, because I saw those orders, and I saw that it's gonna, unless it was showing a lot of momentum, just slicing right through it, there was a high probability that once it gets down to this level, it's going to kind of hesitate. So I took my profits there. There was really no deeper retracement for me to get back in, so I'm good with that, and I'll just look to see if this thing really can break to the downside. But if I had a runner, it's pre-market, so I just saw this trade, I took it. I wanted to make a video for you guys for a quick $850 trade. But the main thing is, I want to see this thing come down to this level, and at that point, within this zone right here, we will look for a buy, and probably a buy at the initial touch at 1154.5. So most likely it's going to come down there really quickly if it breaks through these iceberg orders, touch this, and then we'll look for a bounce back up into 1157 level. So that'll be another 30 to 40 tick move right there, and you'd be done for pre-market. I mean, what else is there to do? And at that point, you're looking for other setups as a market kind of starts consolidating. And just to kind of show you, if I go back to the ES, most likely, as you can see, ES is starting to bounce, right? It's starting to move up. The whole time ES was moving down, you got gold moving up. So there seems to be some confluence right now. If there's fear in the market, on the futures and stock markets, there's confidence in the precious metals. People are buying up metals, right? And you've seen a lot of that in the last couple of days, and we've been able to make lots of money off of this. So pretty nice trade, guys. Wait for this thing to really push down. It's really holding here. There is a chance for it to kind of hold and move up, but like I said, we're so close to the support level. I'm thinking that sellers are going to really try to push this thing down, and we keep testing it. There we go. Broke right through that. Look at it. Look at that. You see how it broke down really hard? All right. Got our lows at 1154.7. Literally one tick away from my target. 1154.6 was the target. 1154.7 is the low that we just hit. There's no problem. I mean, most likely it's gonna have 1154.6 at this point, right? And it just did. There we go. That was another 10 ticks right there, right before I got out. So with 4 contracts, that would have been another $400. So would have been up about $1,200 today, but that's fine. That's fine. I just need to make the video, and I wanted to show you guys that, and I'm glad that happened while we played the video. So great trading, guys. Again, just keep learning the patterns, keep learning market profile, do some research, understand this, watch my videos. If you have any questions, send me a comment or send me an email at nightlydaytrader@gmail.com, and we'll continue this conversation, we'll continue this journey together. And look at that, about to hit the lows of the day. Look how close we are. Yeah, buyers are failing here. We moved up, we've overextended ourselves, so that's a nice little pullback. If we go to the 5-minute, you'll see what happens. Look at the moving averages. That purple moving average, the 50-day, it stayed above it pretty much the whole time, right? Came down, crossed over once, but jumped up, all right, all day, and then finally breaks it, and look what happens. Look at the acceleration after it breaks it. All that bullish sentiment is now kind of destroyed, right? So again, right here, the 1153.7, we're looking at potential bounce. If it does kind of slice right through it, we have this level right here at the 1151, but this area should hold based on just this whole movement up, at least for a reactionary trade, and we'll see this thing kind of bounce back up into this level right here where we initially started coming down at the 1158. So far 10, 20, 30, 40, and possibly 50 ticks we're about to move off of this thing. I mean, if it breaks below this 1152.9 and just slices right through it, because so far there seems to be a lot of momentum and it just keeps moving. So yeah, I wouldn't even buy here. You should have seen some hesitation as it came down to this level, and there's no hesitation, and it just broke below the lows of the day. See here was the lows, just broke right below it. So, but really nice trade off of that signal up here at the 1158. And at this point, you just kind of wait and see what's going to happen, because now the market kind of keeled over. So there's a potential, if it does move back up, we may want to short as it comes back up in this level again. depending on how strong this downward move is. Okay, now we're starting to see that reaction. Now we're starting to see something. So the initial buy idea was at the 11.53.7. So what I would want to wait for this thing to do is for us to kind of come back up, close above 11.57, bounce into it, and then possibly buy here at this level. But we are starting to see some buyers come into the market right now, 11.53.6. So even if we just bought initially right there, okay, we would have had to have a 13 tick stop, 6, 5, and we would have been okay. But that was just a lot of momentum to the downside, so you just got to be careful on that. So this level really has to hold, and like I said, there's going to be reaction. It's a little bit different than this reaction. See how it kind of came down, bounced, and did that? Look at this, much stronger reaction, right? Literally moved from 11.50 to 5. See that 20 plus 25, almost 30 tick move we're about to make off of that reaction. So you see how that kind of stuff works. And this is a really good trade I actually like to use on gold, is where you have a really strong trend to one side, comes down and reverses and hits the bottom of that initial move, which was right here. And if you buy right in this area, there usually is a very strong reaction to the other side, back into that direction that originally was going. So very nice trading, guys. There's a lot of setups right here just within this time, a lot of lessons to learn. I'm glad I was able to share this with you guys, and I'm glad this stuff was recorded. So take this lesson, continue building on it, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. All right, take care.